Here we are. I think I might have missed that, so here we are. Now what we want to do is put the gravel, fill that with gravel. Make sure that everything you put in there is going to come out again. Nothing too big. This one has a particularly large passage though, more than most. And I think that'll be just nice there. One of these little weird appealing rings on there for fun. A little design to the handle. That's going to shrink on there like a piece of leather. And I like it. That one's fairly distinctive. And we're going to see what that's like when that dries. Here's our guy from the beach. He's firming on there nicely. A kind of odd shape that doesn't have a bulb. But that would be interesting. And I got another two here. Find appropriate feather. There's beach whatnot there. Sticks. Now, are these coming up? Coming at you? I'm trying to get one on this piece of like beech driftwood for a while, but it's got a bit of a bend to it. I'm going to try this one. I'm really going to have to take that down and hope that's enough to grip. So I really took that down and hope that's enough to grip when it dries. But that ought to do nicely. Okay, that's the concept. That for the gravel. That in there. That's going to be good. It's going to dry a little odd angle. That's fine. I like it. You know what? I think we're going to want, before I put this on the handle too, because that'll dry on there like a piece of leather or something. And that's packed in, so that should hold. And then my feather on there. And we're going to decorate that with a piece of a shell I've got here too. And that's going to grip on there really tight. After it, once it starts shrinking, it starts drying. Nice, it's on there. It doesn't. Of course, it could crack again, etc., etc. You know what I've done there, but I've got a piece of shell crammed in there for sure. And we'll try that in too. Maybe smaller. Maybe not. Okay, that's going to be cool. Now, a piece of wood for this guy. What have I found here? Now, either that way, or actually I think I'm going to have to do is trim that down as well. I'll trim, don't need that much for it to grip. And I've got a little tight bottleneck there, so I don't want to bust it. The wood's just got to be big enough to kind of fit in the bottleneck and stretch it less, so the when it does dry, it doesn't cinch down too small there. It'll stick in the way. It's an essential part of keeping that bulbous. And that's going to be about, that looks pretty good there. No. Right about there. Like it. Now, even that, you can almost see, lighting's not too great, I suppose, but quite a gap in here. But that'll all just shrink. That'll all just suck right onto the stick, no problem. Including this extra handle piece. Suck right onto the stick. So next is to, next thing to do is set these up to dry in the first stage of drying. First we dry them so that they dry completely and bulbous, all stuffed with the gravel, and then the second stage of drying is after the gravel's removed. So what we got now is the kelp head rattles. Hanging above the wood stove. Hopefully it'll keep going, and you can see that I got them tied to the kelp head itself, because they're quite heavy now, full of gravel and still very wet. So they're going to be, if you may seem to be hanging on there, but as they could just flop off and make a big mess. And so you tie it onto the kelp head, and I have them supported as well up top, so they remain hanging upside down. And we're going to give them a couple days right on top of the wood heater, get them started so they don't start to dry well, they don't go rotten and go slimy. And cool. So we'll return when they are quite dried out, and then we'll be moistening the part that's stuck onto the sticks until we can remove them from the sticks, dumping out the gravel and pebbles, and then just putting in a couple light pieces of shell and pebble to make the rattle sound. After this stage of drying, then they go for a final dry. But there we are. Could be some interesting, each one turns out to be a groovy kind of neo-pagan rattle, shaman rattle. No natural substances involved, no glue, no shellac, and continue this video soon. There we are. So what we have here is a little current crop of beach rattles, kelphead rattles. So what we got is nicely dried. That's a really neat one. Nicely dried over the wood stove there for a couple weeks, and I don't know if that's going to focus, but we can even see sort of the bumpies on there from the pebbles inside. It's dried so tight on there. And it's pretty thick stuff too. This arbutus wood. It's nice stick there. And we got some feathers crammed in. You can see how the little chunks of the kelp have dried and on there so well. It's going to hold the feathers and shell on. And there we go. So now the next stage is we get some water and soak some paper towel a little bit. Got some paper towel in there. And try to pull one out that isn't all crunched up. Fold it up. Oh darn, I'm going to have to set down the whole camera now, aren't I? Let's see. That's nice right there. And we'll just choose one. And wrap that around. Right, that'll work just lovely. To do it. So that should be fine. We're going to leave that wet, sodden paper towel on there for 20 minutes, so half hour. Usually only takes one application, and then we'll try to loosen the handle, driftwood handle, off the dried kelp head in order to empty most of the stones. So we'll just proceed there until they're all done, like that one, and it'll be great. It's going to be some cool ones. We'll do another one right now while we're watching, eh? Maybe later. Here now. Here's our rattles in progress with the wet paper towel. An hour later. Something like that, an hour and a half sitting there. Still wet. Didn't exactly dry out in the weather. Oops. So what we'll do is I'm just going to try to set this camera down and leave it to where we'll give it a go. We can put that in the camera. So here's the big one. So how is, look, oh, lovely. That's easy sneezy. It's coming right off. Get rid of this so we can see what we're doing. Oops, that's okay. So that softened up nice. You know what? I have a different bucket for all this gravel. Hang on. Alrighty. Let's get rid of it all. Come on. Knock that out. Give it a tap. Gentle tap. That's got a nice tone already. Now, comes the tricky part. You can sit for, you know what I want to do? No, you don't. Well, I'll tell you. To clean this, just rinse it out a bit. Take that thing. I'm going to get a better stick on the stick. Better stick on the stick. If we can, don't have sand and gravel in the neck of it, hey? That'll do. Now comes the tricky part. I really have to make some firm decisions on what goes in there. You don't want too much. Made the mistake in the past of putting too heavy. So if it's too heavy, and it, whoops, don't want to do that. Maybe some shell bits, some little stuff. I guess I can afford something a little bigger than that, but there's a piece of shell in my bucket. Doesn't sound, just rocks. Careful, it's getting too big and sharp. No need putting big sharp rocks in there. That's something I could stop right there, you know. And I like it. I'm going to go with that. It's getting washed out now. So, what we do is I'm going to give this stick a bit of a, get that stick wet. And we will just glide that on there. You know, strictly speaking, this should be tighter. I just want to make it tighter, and usually I could find a nice big feather to throw in there. It's got to be something natural, though. But let's do another one quick. We're really curious about this odd shaped one that's not so bulbous. So, is that going to budge? Is that going to budge? It's not. Not readily. Oh, shit. This baby might need some priming with a knife in there or something. Is it really stuck? Look, it was coming that way. Oh yeah, there we are. Oh, some big rocks in there. The sail came up. That's pretty good. Stick my stick end in the water. Got a cloth to get most of the sand out of there. Loosen that up nice. So, just gonna grip on that stick. Oh, what did I do? Hee. We got tools. Here we go. Now, the sound on this one, I think I had some interesting things come out of there. Some quartz or something. Size. It's getting a bit large. So we get some of the frenzy and big rocks in there and cause damage. Oh. Comes the tricky part. When they're firm like this. See if we can line that up. That was. Where's the end? Right about there. Where I want it, not too much. Okay. Nice tone. So what we're going to do is that. Let that dry and say thanks for now. We'll do the rest. And here are two of this crop, the finished product. You might remember some of them. Ta-da! So what were they? There were beach rattles or Shaman rattles. All natural. 100%. No glue, no shellac. Just pure nature. Summoning the powers of nature. Woo! Get you in that nature. Space. Good enough.